All right, so today we are here with Miss Claudia Frohlich. She's a Mindsight practitioner, a student of Mr. Rob Freeman, and I'm super excited that she's here with us today, and I wanted to hear her story. So, Claudia, how did you get started with Mindsight?
So it was really interesting. It actually started all with a movie, and I heard other people say the same thing. It was the movie was called Superhuman, and it was by Carolyn Corey. Her name is, and it was just really fascinating. Like, it was not even thinking about anything that I would participate in, but it was the way the movie was. I think there was some telepathy in it and just certain things which are kind of cool. Like, it was just cool. And right at the end of the movie, they suddenly showed children running around with blindfolds, and I was like, wow, what's that? And then there was they showed this teacher in England teaching children. And I'm like, what is this? Like, what is this? And then I think there was a woman on there, maybe my age or something, and how she was learning how to do this. And I couldn't access the movie anymore. I just had it in the back of my mind. And all I kept thinking, if this is out there and I can do it, I'm going to find a way to do this. Because, and it's been mentioned many a times, I have retinitis pigmentosa, which I can function, I can do really well, but I have like a extreme tunnel vision. I don't drive. I can work, but again, everything is limited, But again, you wouldn't notice if I'm walking down the street, but again, it's a progressive disease with no cure. So anyhow, I was so intrigued by this that I started doing my own research after this movie. And there's quite a bit of information out there. And I ran across Rob's Facebook page, Seeing Blindfold, I believe it's called. And I happened to be on it. And some Sunday evening, and Rob posted something. He would teach someone legally blind, which I am. And I thought, whoa, like, I got to do this. I got to do this. And I literally said yes. And immediately we started practicing. It just went right into it. And we practiced about 3 times a week. And it's been such a beautiful journey of learning, and anyhow, that's how I came across it. Like, I saw the movie, started doing my research, and I was like, I am doing this no matter what. That was it.
That was it, huh? What year was this that you started with?
This was like 3 years ago.
3 years ago? Okay.
Yeah, this was 3 years ago. And again, I wasn't going to give up. Ken, like, I was not like giving up. This is what I wanted to tell you right at the beginning. And this is kind of what made me really, really know that this was real. I remember sitting down, and Rob had said to me, practice at home a little bit. And I got the, I got things like that, like all kinds of stuff, like symbols and all the stuff. And I remember sitting, and I placed a circle, triangle, across, right, like around me. And I saw the circle cross and whatever. And I suddenly touched my face. Like, this was right at the beginning, within like 5 minutes. And I saw everything. But I was in such a, like, and I looked up and everything was black. But it was.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, it was so overwhelming. It was like, it's like you tell someone to do it and they just do it, and I just did it, and I was like, this can't be. But it shut it right down. Like, it's like I looked up, realizing I had a mask on, and everything went black. But I knew at that moment that I saw something, and that convinced me already that whatever I'm going to do and learn is real.
Okay. And now, how long did it take you to see your first vision? And also, what was it? Was it a color? Was it a symbol? Was it a number? What exactly?
Well, it's really interesting. Yeah, it's really interesting because to me, the Mindsight is sort of like, there's the Mindsight that say I have my mask on, Rob's on the screen and holding up symbols. I see things, and I get like a haze of something. I get a feeling of something. I get a inner intuition there's something, or I see lines, curves, like stuff like that. That to me is what Mindsight is sort of about. then there's the remote viewing, which then the object is not on the other screen, where you sort of have to kind of like send your consciousness out and kind of search for the object or feel the object, describe the object. And I actually found it very interesting. And then there is the Mindsight, where you literally see everything, but in real time. Like, say you were holding up something right now, like I'll see you, I'll just see you. I'll see your face, I'll see your hand, I'll see everything in real time. So that's how I just differentiate those things. And me and Rob were doing the Mindsight for pretty much 3 years. Well, just maybe under 2.5 or something like that. And then it opened, you know what I mean, on each side. Like it was really like in real time.
Okay. What was like the progression like? Like, you know, so like I've dabbled with, you know, this stuff.
Yeah, I remember you were doing. Yeah, you did great.
Yeah, I was dabbling with this, but what was like your first experience? Like for me, I had, you know, from what my understanding, most people have success mostly with colors initially, and then they move on to numbers and symbols and stuff like that, which from my experience, it was a little bit harder. What was your experience like?
I would say my experience would be, say that again?
Oh, did you start out with colors as well?
Yes, it was all colors, mostly symbols, mostly, you know, things that your visual, you know, senses can pick up easier. And me and Rob actually started doing white letters instead of black letters. Like, but and like this, we started more simple, mainly colors, symbols. But I feel the progression was sort of like confidence, recognizing different things, having really like a little bit more. Again, the confidence was a big part of it, like trusting yourself in what you were seeing like say Rob's holding up a T and I see 2 lines, you know, and I'm seeing 2 lines. Like they might not be just like a T, or, you know, or there's a C and I'm seeing like something, a wave, you know, or something. Like it's trying to figure out it. Your body's trying to figure out what you're seeing. And that's really what the cool thing is about Mindsight, is because you're interpreting what is coming in, or what your consciousness is perceiving.
Interesting. Okay. So Claudia, what would be like the most profound experience you have with Mindsight? You know, what is like could you describe like the coolest experience you have?
Well, I mean, there's so many, Ken. Like it was really like sometimes I would literally blow myself away. Like when say Rob would hold up like 2 different letters of the alphabet, and like 2 times out of 26, like the chances of me getting that right is near impossible, and things like that. So there was some really amazing sessions we would have where it's like, wow, where did that come from, and things like that. But I want to. And then, of course, when Mindsight opened up, like that's like the icing on the cake, right? When you can see everything, and you can like you don't have to tell me it's red. I know it's red. You don't have to tell me it's an A. I see an A. So that is like, and I think I remember the biggest wonderful part was sitting in the room and having a mask on and relaxing and everything, and like looking out the window and seeing the trees outside. Just having that, the concept of that, like just the realization that, yeah, I can do that. That's amazing. Like it's just such a beautiful feeling. But the whole Mindsight thing, what we did for the 3 years, it did a lot psychologically, spiritually, and all of these things, because you're getting to know and trust yourself, and the confidence again, letting go of fears where doubts come in, and this, and then listening to your body, listening to your inner voice. That is never mentioned. And that is what I feel that journey is really in the end, and really beautiful, and that persistence with it. And then suddenly you see synchronicities, and you suddenly see that, and it's like, wow, like where did that come from? And that is really, so I know everybody wants to see without eyes, but really there is so much more to it. Even though that's the icing on the cake, and I'm beyond grateful I can do it, especially because of the issue, but there is so much more to it.
Yes, certainly. Claudia, so you mentioned, there's more to it than just obviously, being able to, see, with a blindfold. We chatted privately in the past several times and stuff like that over the video stuff. And you share with me that you don't really have like a quote unquote spiritual background, if you will. You don't really have a background in like yoga or some type of meditation, or, you're not like a Reiki healer or anything like that. You're just you just, went straight into Mindsight.
Totally.
So like, how has it like evolved your conscious understanding? Like, how has it made you a little bit more spiritual? Could you elaborate on that a little bit more, maybe?
Definitely. And this is what I found so beautiful. Is because that package comes with so much more. I would say I was not even educated in anything. Like, I wasn't even like, when I was doing my research, I'm like, oh, that's great. Like, telekinesis and all that stuff. But and to me, it's all somehow connected. But what I feel, again, it goes back to that humanness and listening to you. And when you understand you can actually understand other people on a much different level, which means you have a much deeper connection and much deeper consciousness and much deeper compassion. And that whole thing that came with it, which that I never expected or was aware of it, that was even going to be a part of it. So I feel by understanding me more and listening to me inside, wow, like that was just a really beautiful thing. Like, I'm definitely not the same person. I'm not the same person as I was 3 years ago.
That's awesome to hear.
Yeah.
It's awesome to hear, because you mentioned stuff like telekinesis and stuff. And, if you watch the Superhuman film, obviously they talk about, Sean does TK in the, in the film and stuff, and, a lot of TK people end up getting very bad side effects and quitting, from my direct experience, and stuff. But it seems like Mindsight people are thriving. So a lot of people are like really drawn to that, and like they're thriving with it. And it's just so awesome to hear that, like, there was something beyond just like, doing these cool things and stuff. It just made you more conscious. So you mentioned that it made you more compassionate, understand yourself better. Yeah. So that's
listening to yourself, right? And again, I think the biggest thing was, to me, is like, is this now something you're thinking, or is it you're feeling? Like the difference with that, really, because in the end we want to listen to our intuition versus the thoughts in our head, right? You want to listen to your intuition, but you know how many times we don't trust our intuition? So it was a gateway of me learning to distinguish that a lot of times, and then trusting myself. So that is a huge component. What I feel is so much deeper on that whole thing. And by practicing it, by all means, I still feel like a novice. But
really?
I'm just saying, when you're saying spirituality or anything like that, I feel I like to, my biggest favorite saying is always like, I feel I've opened one door, which led me to 1,000.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
Yeah, that's wonderful, Claudia. Do you have any other interest in exploring other abilities, like, possibly, trying to astral project or lucid dream, contact like beings, like, C5 type of stuff, or, I mentioned telekinesis, and there's a whole bunch of other abilities out there, like remote viewing, stuff like that. Do you have any other interest in, like, pursuing other avenues of ability?
I would definitely stay connected with the remote viewing, because I feel by sending your consciousness out, now, all of this is always positively intended, never anything negatively, because to me, there's no reason to negative. Like, what I'm saying is, by sending my consciousness out is just about perceiving and receiving of what's sent or what I'm sending out, and that is, I found that very interesting with synchronicities in my life, and but really beautiful things, like really eye-opening things, and so I would love to do the remote viewing. Of course I would love to try some telekinesis and move like I don't even know what it's called, like the little when you can, yes, exactly, like that's fascinating to me. I'm like, wow. There's a couple of other things I thought about, but I mean, again, the time the time is more the factor, right? Because I feel now with Mindsight is that it's something I need to keep up. So I would have to practice every day. I would have to put my mask on every day, because to me it's like a muscle, and I don't want to lose that muscle, because I feel I worked so hard to attain it. I don't want to lose it now. But that's also when meditation comes in. It's not, there's no force behind it. It's just a care maintenance to me, and wanting to keep it. But then there's also meditation, which it's like just calming the body, calming the brain, calming that, and just again listening to that inner voice, that guidance that we all look for, but recognizing when it's guidance versus when your mind spins and things like that.
Yeah, certainly. I have a background in doing chi work and stuff like that. So, like naturally for me, like, opening the third eye and things like that was, it was, something that I already had experience. I've already seen visions in the past and stuff like that. Without mentioning names, like certain institutions do practice chi work primarily in order to unlock the third eye, and like in order to, in order to unlock this Mindsight abilities and stuff like that. But that's not really the way, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Freeman, teaches. I mean, he's mostly, he emphasizes like having a partner, and he also emphasizes just being playful, and obviously like, really, really just getting that, getting your brainwave to like a lower frequency.
Yeah.
Am I correct on that? Am I pretty much?
Yeah, you gotta approach this with a lot of fun. You gotta approach this with a lot of fun, no stress, be kind to yourself, practice. And that's why too, I feel he's guided me really beautifully on this path, where always be lots of patience. Like there's no doubts that I would get frustrated at times, and but going back, like the fun factor of it, keeping it fun, and practicing with somebody else, being like a child, like always do things that are safe, of course, right? But I would do things like I blindfold myself and do dominoes. So you got to make sure one stands up, then you place the next one. You got to keep like build a little house with Legos. Like do everything. What is that stacking game called? Like I was thinking about that. When you stack, then you pull one out. What is that one called?
I know what you're talking about, but I escaped me as well. Yeah.
So like, just have fun, because again, your brain's going to look for things. Your consciousness is going to. I call it the brain too, and even and science really I do believe it kind of backs a lot of this up too. But again, I'm not a scientist. I'm just an ordinary girl. I'm just who came across this, and I wasn't letting this go. But Mindsight should be fun. It should be fun. It should be playful. Enjoy yourself. Just never take it serious. Don't, because I feel the more you put strain on it, the more you send it away.
Mm-hmm.
Like be open, always the opening, smiling,
Yeah.
That's my greatest thing.
Certainly. I obviously wrote down several questions for you. That was going to be one of the questions. What would be the biggest tip for like a newbie embarking on this journey?
Yeah, I would say get a partner. Yeah, get a partner. And I know it's much better in person, of course, because there's something to do with energy as well. With when you have energy with other people in the room, and this is where going back to that connectivity to other humans. That's why I feel Mindsight is such a peaceful, loving thing, is because. And another really big belief is like, well, if he can do it, I can do it. If she can do it, I can do it. It's that belief of helping each other and being kind to each other, complimenting each other, and being supportive and also sorry.
Looks like we lost Claudia.
Sorry about that.
Oh, you're fine.
Yeah, so it's really that what makes a really, really big difference too, because you're connecting with other people. So if you can even get a group together of like a couple of people, 3 people, well, a group is more than 3 people. Have fun, and don't ever. I think we're so hard on ourselves that oh, I can't do this incorrect. If I do this incorrect, then oh my goodness. So that is another part of this whole thing. There's nothing you ever do wrong. Whatever your brain sees, you will see. Like, so say I'm seeing red, but not red's in front of me. Well, it's going to be somewhere else in the room. You gotta be kind to yourself and kind to others and have patience. That's to me, and have fun. There's really, that to me is the biggest things I can tell to people to enjoy it. Really.
Yeah, awesome. I have a theory on how this stuff works too, but I've obviously been observing your journey for several years now, and I've seen you progress.
Thank you.
It's amazing how much you progress. I almost feel like I should have been practicing Mindsight as well instead of focusing on the TK stuff. So I kind of, but that's, I shouldn't be talking about that a whole lot.
That's okay.
But I also have a theory though. I consider you a friend, and I've known you for about a year or so now, maybe 2 years.
Yeah, we've talked. Yeah.
Yeah, and I really, really feel like you are a very kind-hearted person. You're such a sincere person, and I didn't know you before you started Mindsight, but if I have to guess, you were probably a really good person even before that as well. And just your energy is so good. I mean, I don't know anybody that dislikes you. Everybody seems to love, everybody that knows you loves you, Claudia. And
thank you.
I personally think one of the reasons why you progressed a lot more than other people is because of your energy that you already had and stuff like that.
Wow, you're gonna make me cry.
but no, I mean, make you emotional. But speaking of which, this reminded me of something. There's a story you shared with me, Claudia. I don't know if you remember or not.
Probably not. What did you share?
And I'm pretty sure you're okay with sharing this. You mentioned that you found the book one time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. From your childhood or something. And it was like a psychic book or something like that. And
yeah.
Blindfold or something. Could you share that story? I can't remember the exact details. So could you, in your own words, share exactly what that experience?
I would even love to show you the picture. It was it blew me away. I must have been 16, 17 or something like that. Okay. I'm 54 now. So in my hold on, I'm going to see if I can find it. In my in the basement, I was renovating the basement, and then suddenly I saw a book, and I remembered it. As soon as I saw it, I was like, you got to be kidding me. It's a book with a blindfold on it, and it all talks about Mindsight from this is I bought this when I was 16, 17. And exactly what's in the book is what I'm doing now. It's insane. And I really, that picture, I'm not going to be able to find it right now, but I'll send you the picture and you can post the picture. It blew me away. It's because there's the symbols were in there. There was a girl with a mask on doing it. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. This is exactly what I'm doing right now. I would have never dreamed that that's something. I bet you I didn't even read the book. I bought the book.
Yeah. I mean, sorry to cut you off. I mean, I remember you showing me the book, but do you remember what that book? Because I mean, I've seen all the Mindsight books that are available on Amazon and stuff like that. I've never seen that one. And you mentioned it's you bought it, roughly 40 years ago. I mean, do you remember? Do you know who the author is? And
I'll get you that. Yeah, I will get you that whole information. It was truly mind blowing that was in the basement. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
So sorry to cut you off, but this book. So does it actually teach you exactly what Rob Freeman's teaching?
It doesn't teach it. It doesn't teach it. It tells you about it. Do you know what I mean? It tells you about it. And again, it talked about way back where that movie that is made now about Henry Sugar, I think it mentions that guy in it. So I just can't, seeing the book and the cover of it. Oh yeah, here it is. It's going to turn. It's called Psychic Powers. Hold on, I'm going to do a screenshot because it's going to keep turning on me. Can you see that? See, it's going to turn. My goodness. I'm not technically really see. Hold on. I have found the cover. I would have had the book up here. Hold on. This is now the right thing. Hold. Where I gotta go. It keeps turning it.
Yeah, I can vaguely see it, but please, when we get off this call, can you send that image?
And look at this. Look at this. This is a girl doing the blindfold.
Wow, that's crazy. That is.
I know.
Who is the author? Can you check out who the author is?
Yeah, I will. It's downstairs. The book. I will definitely. Actually, it's called Mysteries of the Unknown, and it's called Psychic Powers. See.
Wow.
I know. I'll send it to you.
Now, Claudia, you mentioned that you had no understanding of spirituality, like, at all and stuff like that.
No.
But did some part of you always have some interest in spirituality all these years?
No. No. I feel I was too busy. I was too busy. Like I wasn't really, not that I wasn't interested. Obviously I was interested as a teenager, right? Now, did I read the book? Didn't I read the book? I don't even remember. I just knew I obviously kept the book. When you're a teenager, you're interested in a whole bunch of stuff. But I honestly didn't have much time to I married, kids, all of these things, work, it was never on the front line. And even, again, religion-wise, I was pretty much raised with not much belief. So none of this really. And then meditation was I'm like, I don't have no time for meditation. Like I have ADHD, so it's like meditation to me was almost like, oh, I can't sit still for 10 minutes. I don't even know how to do that. So, yeah. So right, and so then, but now again, me seeing that, but it kind of. I kind of wanted to do it because now I got an issue with the eye. So I'm like, now, hey, somebody, where is this from? And if this can be done, then I'm doing it. And that's what brought me into this whole world. And that's why I keep saying, well, one door sure opens up a lot more. But going back, so one thing I do feel I always did, I did kind of like listen to my feelings. And if something didn't feel right, then I should listen to that. I always found I was a little bit not like I was just sort of like, I don't know, not very, I was always fun. Like I always wanted to be not funny, but like I could laugh about myself, but just always listening to my feelings. And I was always very sensitive to things. I'm like, why am I so sensitive? Oh my goodness, But the sensitive now side in me is actually what I really appreciate, what I was trying to get rid of all these years is now become sort of like my gift. And I've always felt there was always a nice person, but now I feel a much deeper connection to people, a much deeper connection to humans and things like that,
Claudia, so, what is your ultimate goal? I mean, like, I think I already know the answer since you're obviously going blind and stuff like that. Your goal, and you honestly told me in the past, you mentioned that your goal is to be able to just completely, be able to just see, even if you do technically turn blind and stuff. Is that your goal? And do you have any other goals, or?
Well, I really want to. Yes, I've opened it and I want to keep it open. So the goal was to open it, which I did, and now is to keep it open and to maintain it. But also with Rob doing the seminars, I'd like to be I'm assisting, I'm helping, I'm showing people that it works, and really getting helping other people with it. Like really being like, yeah, if I can do it, you can do it. It's very simple. It's like, and again, I saw it. There's no reason why I can't do it. I stayed persistent with it. I was kind to myself, and anybody can do it. And that's what really the goal to me is, and especially helping others. Like it's to me, it's wonderful, I look at it as a gift.
Yeah, certainly.
And if you get a gift, you give a gift.
Claudia, do you think this work could, impact the world if it's like, do you think that this work can potentially become mainstream and stuff like that? And is that perhaps like, one of the visions that you guys have? The
Will it become mainstream? Probably that would be beautiful. That would be wonderful. I think, but the other levels of it is, again, the more people are open, the more people are kind and caring and supportive of each other and helping each other. That to me is more the bigger picture, I think, of the world. It doesn't, like, again, it's not a party trick. It's not to hey, look what I can do. It's actually to have your mind open, and also to perceive and to not be afraid, and trusting yourself. That really to me is the biggest journey that I went through, trusting myself, gaining confidence that, no, Claudia, you actually, you saw that and you felt that, and then if I can have someone else feel that to me is beautiful. That to me really is so just imagine if like one person does it, then 3 people do it, then 10 people do it, and so on. So will it change the world completely? No, but you know what? But maybe it will, one step at a time. And the more people are open, the more people can learn.
Yeah, wonderful. Claudia, so like how far do you think, like, you could go with this ability? Like, for instance, do you think you can get to the point where, you could perhaps like, become like almost, I don't know if this is the right word, but like, what's the word for, like, just not omnipotence, but like, what's the word I'm looking for, where you could basically, where you kind of know it all, so to speak?
You know what? It's so funny that you say that. It's actually, you mentioned that in you said something like that, an all-knowing or an all, I actually want to turn that around and kind of say it's not being afraid of the unknown.
Okay. Could you elaborate
so instead
on
of so instead of knowing everything or whatever, it's just like, again, not being afraid, not fearing things, and worrying about these things that you shouldn't worry about, like all of these things that we all know, but actually doing them. That is really, to me, the thing. It's like, I had something really I wanted to say again. Trusting the unknown, trusting it, and trusting that things are going to be okay, trusting that and trusting yourself, number one. That was, again, the biggest part of my journey is trusting myself. You know how many times Rob would hold something up and I'd be like, oh, I think it's this, and I see that, and but I didn't trust my gut the first time. Like, that is, again, the bigger picture to me. And the more you practice that, trusting yourself, that to me is really a nice thing. And instead of keeping the chatter out, the chatter that your brain tells you sometimes.
Yeah, certainly. Claudia, is there, I've already, asked you about, like, tips for newbies and stuff like that. But, some people, like, there's a lot of people like myself who have, like, background in, like, chi work and things like that. Is there, like, as I mentioned earlier, certain institutions have their own way of, like, unlocking, the disability. Is there, like, any other, like, more, specific advice that you can offer? Like, trying to come up with an example.
I really feel you need a partner, because otherwise if you're doing it by yourself, which I feel, then your brain gets in the way. It's like I think having a partner is very important. Having confidence is very important, and also patience. Like, having the patience, because that is, I think we're all very impatient with ourselves, and we want results right away. If I would have known this was going to take 3 years, I'm so happy I didn't know any of this. It just kept me pursuing things, and it kept me, like, again, like it was a roller coaster sometimes, but pursuing it is really the like, people forget the journey. And I know we always see it in movies and all this stuff, but no, it really is the journey. It really is, because, and now we continue in the journey. Like, there's not the end. There's not, like, it just keeps going. And like, maybe I've seen so many, like, I'm just being inspired, obviously, by what a lot of people say too, and everything. But all of these things, they're all really true, but we're not feeling them. So getting to feel them, that really is, to me, the key. Doing the practicing and listening to your feelings. That's what people are not doing, like, because they're thinking, they're not feeling. So when you start to feel, then you're going to connect with yourself.
Mm-hmm. Claudia, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't you working in a field where you, deal with like some type of...
I do. I help with rehabilitation. So with brain rehabilitation, actually, and it's fascinating. Okay. It's really fascinating.
Right. So what my question was going to be, I forgot. I knew you were in that type of field. I just couldn't remember exactly what you were doing. My question was going to be, have you thought about, like, getting your own, like, a brainwave scan and things like that? Have you thought?
I haven't. I have not.
Since you're in that field, you should. I mean, you can't do that.
No, I don't think so. I don't think I'm allowed. No, I don't know if there's any scans or anything like that.
That's
no, but I don't think. See, there's the thing. I don't know if you can scan feelings. I don't know. It's like, I know you can measure things, you can do all of these things, but feelings are within you, right? So, and that's been my biggest guide, right? And of course, like I shouldn't say guide. Rob has been my absolute, my persistent, like he supported me 100%, and that like, knowing someone has your back, I think that is another. That's why I keep saying the support from one of each other. And I know I'm being really repetitive with that, but knowing someone's got your back and knowing someone's there for you and supportive you, that really, like, who doesn't want that in life? Right? I mean, knowing that, like, at the end of the day, it's like you got some people care about you, people, and they support you, even if it sounds crazy, some of the looks I've gotten, and
right.
But ultimately, as long as you have people behind you, like, how beautiful is that?
Yeah. And I was gonna say, like, what a coincidence, right? I mean, because you and Mr. Freeman live relatively close and stuff like that. Like, I'm so remote from. I have probably more friends within the spiritual abilities than probably anybody because of the work I do. But, like, I don't have anybody even remotely close to me, in fact, I don't have a single friend that lives in Washington State in America.
Oh, it's terrible. Well, I'm not there, but I'm your friend. You know that.
Yeah, I know. But what I was gonna say was, like, it's almost like it was meant to be, right? I mean, like, you to your mentor, you live so close.
Yeah, it was a total coincidence, because when he started teaching me, he actually wasn't in the country.
Right.
I have no idea who he was. I had no idea anything, and he was going to help me, and I'm like, you know what? Okay, let's do it. And we committed ourselves to each other, and again, that never wavered once. And now him teaching, and now me being able to just be a part of it is like, I feel the gratitude and is unmeasurable. And now knowing other people can do it and is beautiful, and just me being able to be a little part of it. And even, like, we just finished the first seminar. What a beautiful group of people! Like, I consider these people lifelong friends. Like,
that's awesome. Yeah.
Like, what kind of gift is that? Like, and again, and so there's much bigger. It's much bigger.
Yeah, certainly. Claudia, I want to talk about the film that started all this one more time, of Miss Corey's.
Yeah.
So, like, what led? So you have no spiritual background at all. People like that are in my field.
Well, I did hear. Yeah, see, I did listen to Dr. Joe. Yeah.
How did you stumble upon that film to begin with?
I must say, see, I shouldn't say this. Dr. Joe Dispenza, I hope I'm saying it right. I did hear of him long time ago. Listen to this. Yeah. So there was a movie long time before Superhuman, and it was called, oh my God, I've told hundreds of people about this movie. And I've driven people nuts about this movie because it was called What the Bleep Do We Know? Have you heard of that one?
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
Have you seen it? So I watched that again early on in my life, right? And it blew me away. It absolutely blew me away. I was so fascinated with quantum physics. I thought, oh my God, this is the most amazing thing ever. And we actually, in my town, we have the Perimeter Institute. I don't know if you know about that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. It's anyhow. So it's just fascinating. The whole quantum physics world just fascinated me. And then Dr. Joe Dispenza was in this movie. So, and he started being big as time went on. So I kind of like, to be honest, I bought all his books, but did I read them? Probably not. But I watched some of his shows, some of his things, just because I really like what he was teaching. When things make sense, I like it. Like I like when things make sense. I like logical things, which again, what we're doing here right now is nothing. There's nothing logical about what we're doing, but then yet I like logical things. So, it made sense to me. So I don't have the background, but that Superhuman movie is really what, whoa. Like when that last chapter of that movie showed with these kids running around with blindfolds and this woman learning it. And I'm like, I need to know more about this. I need to do research. So there's several people in the world who can do it, like who can teach it, who can whatever, but it's just fascinating. Absolutely fascinating.
Wow. Yeah. Do you intend on, eventually becoming I mean, you practically are almost an instructor pretty much, right? I mean,
well, I feel I'm a good addition. Let's say it this way. I feel I'm a good addition. Yeah. I will not have enough time in my career to be a full-on teacher, but I'm happy to be like, that's why I'm saying I'm happy to be part of it. That's what really, Rob and Wendy put a lot of work into everything. And they really, I would not have that time because I have my job too. But like I say, just to be able to be at the seminars and be part of it, that is to me an icing on the cake, and meeting people, showing them and guiding them a little bit, that is wonderful. That is really it. Again, I know I repeat myself a lot, but these are gifts to me.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, Claudia, man, like you got to share so many amazing stuff in today's interview. So thank you so much for coming on. Is there anything else that you would like to share? Because I mean, like, it's such a target, with other people, like, they talk about so many experiences that they had spiritually and stuff like that. But like with you, there's, since even though you're an incredible person, like, you're just in this tiny field. So like we ran out of time relatively quickly. Is there anything that you would like to share at the end?
I just, going back to, I feel I was meant to learn this. I feel I was meant to see this. I was meant to be part of it. And again, going back to, we all want sort of knowing what we're doing in life is right, or we're on the right path, or whatever it is, and allowing yourself to trust yourself, and allowing yourself to have confidence, that really is the biggest gift. I walk away with it, and the seeing, of course, but and I want people to know that it's possible. I really, and my biggest thing is I open one door, and now I have 1,000 that are ready to open. And then also I feel the gratitude, when you can really feel grateful at the end of the day and saying, wow, this is beautiful, and want to give that to somebody else then. And that in the end is beautiful. And have fun. I mean, again, always stay safe, be safe, but have fun and enjoy it. Like, get a partner, like, let's see what happens, because there's so many synchronicities that happen that is like, whoa, how did this happen? What happened here? And enjoy it.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah. Well, once again, thank you so much for coming on, Claudia. Claudia, so as far as at the end of the interview, typically I share people's social media links and stuff like that. I guess the since you don't really post on YouTube and stuff like that.
No,
I guess I'll link Mr. Freeman's Facebook group link in the description. I think that'll be the most relevant link social media link that I can share. So I will link that below. So I guess we can end it at that. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for coming on, Claudia. I'm super grateful. And Claudia, I just want to say something. I'm really cheering for you. And a part of me feels like this spiritual work. I'm hoping that it's gonna lead you to curing your eyes completely as well.
I'm ruling nothing out, Ken. I'm ruling nothing out, and I really there's so many things I've seen now that just blow my mind, and really, who knows? Right. I'm not. And again, the healing touch from others, the healing messages, everything is it all means something. There's way more, and just being open to that. Just being open to that is already a first step.
Yeah, certainly. But Claudia, no matter what happens, I mean, I see nothing but good things happening for you in the future. And
Thank you.
As I mentioned, in the middle of of our conversation, you Claudia is one of the sweetest people I know.
Thank you. You'll only get kindness from me and well wishes. That's it.
yeah, certainly. So I can't recommend, Claudia enough. So if you want to check out her work, definitely check out Mr. Freeman's YouTube channel, where, he's showing her progression and stuff like that. And yeah, it's really awesome content. So, okay. Well, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time.
Thank you. Thank you, Ken.
So